I was born in Evergreen Park, Illinois. It's like 5 minutes away from Chicago. Pretty decent little spot.
Still reside there today?
No, I live in Atlanta.
You do?
Yeah.
And what age were you when you made that move?
Moved to Atlanta when I was like 3 months. Went back like junior high school, finished high school up there at Robeson. Robeson, like one of them schools on the south side of Chicago that every rapper went to. Like Lil Durk, Famous Dex, Reggie Baby went, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty cool, like going to school with the rappers, and then you had like all the hoopers down the street at Simeon. So it's pretty cool.
Did you actually have class with any of those rappers?
I mean, I probably had like night school with like Famous Dex or something like that. But I know him more throughout like being around through the city, through the neighborhood. You feel me? Like going to school in Chicago, you know, it's kind of different, especially if you had clout. And, you know, can't be lacking going to school, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy out there, you feel me?
What does that mean? Somebody watching this might not know the terminology. What would happen, what is lacking and what would happen if you were lacking in school?
Well, it's like you get caught slipping. Like, I had some homies that was like on the way to school, you know what I'm saying, they got killed at a bus stop or leaving school, they got jumped or just got caught slipping. You know what I'm saying, it's unfortunate, but, you know, Chicago's just one of the places you gotta learn how to move at, you feel me? So you got a certain target on your back, you know, you can't be caught slipping just walking to school or catching a bus, especially into it with somebody, so, you know, you just gotta move different, that's all that is.
How does one learn how to move? How does one protect themselves from lacking?
Mainly like being aware of your surroundings and who you surround yourself with, you know. All those is based upon choices that you make, you know. You are who you hang around, you know what I'm saying? You hang around some hotheads, you know, it's very influential. You may potentially be a hothead, you know what I'm saying? You just wanna hang with some people who just cool and just chilling and stay in their lane. And, you know, you're gonna be cool and stay in your lane, you feel me? So it's all about who you choose to hang around, what you choose to do.
You didn't have classes with Lil Durk or Reggie Baby, but would you see them in school? Would you see them on campus?
Well, nah, like I'll see like Reggie Baby or Famous Dex. Durk was like a couple years older than me. He like graduated with my brother or something. Well, if he graduated, I don't know. But yeah, it was pretty cool, you know.
As far as Famous Dex's, you had night school with him.
Yeah.
Did you converse with him back then, or he was just in your class attendance-wise?
Didn't really say too much.
Does what you see now of Famous Dex surprise you from those days in night school or seeing him around in the neighborhood and things of that nature?
I mean, it's cool because it's just like I was just around him and, you know, he working, he going crazy. You know, he made something of himself. I mean, it just motivated me to do the same thing, you feel me? I mean, just keep working. He was just consistent, and he still is, so it just teach me a lot.
So you went to junior high, you went to high school in Chicago.
High school in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you end up moving back to Atlanta.
Yeah, like probably like a year ago.
Oh, very recent.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know the reasons behind the different moves? Starting with 3 months old, do you know why you guys moved at your age of 3 months?
My birth mother was sick, and she couldn't really like take care of me at the time, and she was raising two, you know, my brothers, Travis and Trent. So I went to go to Atlanta and stay with my grandma and my dad's side, and you know they taught me everything I know as far as music and everything else. So I mean, I feel like it was meant to be. You know, Atlanta's cool for that too. You know.
Why'd you end up moving back to the Chicago area, junior high and high school?
Making wrong decisions, you know, just hanging around with some of the wrong people, doing the wrong things, not focusing in school, going to school, barely passing classes, only the classes I wanted to pass, stuff like that. Chicago just kind of got me back right, you feel me? It's a different environment from Atlanta, so it's pretty cool.
It was a situation where your dad or your grandmother kicked you out, so to speak, and couldn't handle you anymore, or they thought a change of scene and environment or surroundings would be better for your benefit?
Well, I mean, I lost my grandparents to cancer, so it was like, once they died, you know what I'm saying, things kind of changed, you feel me? You know, my pops, he was on drugs, so, you know, like, it wasn't a solid way of living as it used to be. So that's why I was barely going to school. I mean, I was barely going to school because I was barely having a place to sleep at, you know? I slept at the back of IHOP on Memorial Drive and went to school the next day, you feel me? So it's like, I was like, fuck that shit, you feel me? But I ended up going back, graduating, you know what I'm saying? Top 20 class, 3.2 GPA. Shit, just applied that pressure, you feel me?
So when you were living in Atlanta, you were actually under the care of your grandparents, not your father?
Correct.
Okay. And who passes away first?
My grandfather.
Remember what age you were?
Like, probably like 12. Yeah, he died of cancer, and my grandma died of cancer too, a year later.
Did they both have the same cancer or different?
It was in the same spot, but it was a different type of cancer. It's like, it was both in their stomach. I can't really remember what was it, but it had like something doing with their stomach.
And again, I know you were younger, you may not know these details, but I still want to ask anyways. When it came to the cancer situations for both your grandparents, was it something that was discovered late? Cancer comes when it's discovered in 4 stages, I understand. Stage 1, probably the easiest to have a chance of survival and get rid of, versus a later stage like stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, if found, is pretty much people don't usually survive.
Yeah, it was kind of late. They were just having a lot of pain. First, my grandmother had the pain, and she had like a hernia on top of her cancer. She found out that way. About like 6 months later, my grandfather found out he had cancer, and you know, he ended up passing shortly after that. So I guess it was really late, if you want to answer your question.
Do you remember those times of being in the household and dealing with your grandparents as they were going through cancer after it was discovered?
Yeah, it was kind of different, you know, because like cancer just kind of just take them away, you know what I'm saying, little by little, you know what I'm saying? You see them just deteriorate, you know, especially going through chemotherapy. They losing their hair, they losing weight, and then, you know, end up turning into like them going to hospice care, at-home hospice. You know, it would be times I'll just wake up in the morning just to see if they still breathing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I love them, you feel me? Still love them, you know what I'm saying? They taught me everything I know.
What was Dad doing as this was happening? They're starting to deteriorate. The hospice situation is going on.
Shit, I mean, he was on drugs at the time. I mean, he was doing whatever the fuck he wanted to do. I mean, it is what it is. I love that nigga too, but, you know, drugs tore my family apart at the same time, you know, so.
Do you know what drug it was he was addicted to?
Crack, you know. That was pretty much the thing going on down here around that time, you know, around the millennial, 2000s, 2010. Still is, honestly, but.
Was he able to shake that habit?
I don't know. I mean, shit, I got other shit to worry about now, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I hope he will for the sake of him, you know. We grown now. Shit, he should just want to do it for himself, feel me? Still love the nigga though.
When it comes to your grandparents, how do you find out each one actually passes away?
Well, my grandfather passed, I was like, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. We got a call from the hospice. They told us that he passed, you know, it was a rough day, February 10th. I was like in 7th grade. Grandma passed when I was like 9th grade, you know, shortly after. I was at school, you know. I got the call, I was at school, you know, so my dad told me like, Mom died, and you know, it was on his birthday too. That was crazy, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, like, I like, stop playing with me, it's your birthday too, you know what I'm saying? You can't play with me like that, I'm at school, you feel me? He was like, yeah, she gone, and I was like, I mean, it was rough, you feel me? that was like a different type of pain, you feel me? This is like the woman I look up to, you know what I'm saying? She was my superhero, really, you feel me? So, still kind of recovering from the shit, but you know, but shit, I love her so much, I named my daughter after her, so, you know.
She passed away in hospice as well?
Yeah.
So, as she passes away, who's taking care of you at that very moment?
I mean, shit, I was just bouncing around, you feel me? I go to my aunt's house, my pops, you know what I'm saying? I'll go like, with him to work, he worked at IHOP at night. I'll just spend the night, sleep at IHOP or sleep at Waffle House or something, go to school the next day, go stay at my homie crib. I was just out here, really, at that point.
Kind of homeless.
Yeah, shit.
Go ahead.
The house I grew up in, you know what I'm saying? My grandparents had like a mortgage on it. They passed as the mortgage was going on. And, you know, my pops wasn't responsible enough because, you know, drugs, of course. So, you know, ended up getting foreclosed, got evicted, turned into a bando. You know how that shit go. But, you know, so, yeah.
How long of the bouncing around, homeless description there was going on before you actually finally moved back to Chicago area?
Probably say like...
Was it a couple months of this, 6 months of this?
6 months to a year, yeah.
And how do you actually go back to Chicago? Is it you telling your mom? Or, I mean, your mom's still alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Grandmother there, she cool. Yeah.
Are you telling your mom, hey mom, this is what's happening, this is what's going on, I need to come back to Chicago? Or
I mean,
are they wondering what's happening with you as your grandparents are passing away? And
I mean, honestly, got sent back. You feel me? Not mean to cut you off. Honestly, got sent back because you know what I'm saying. I was just fucking up, and you know, if I was down here, she didn't want me to fuck up, but I was fucking up. And I ain't want to go to Chicago. Like, man, this is the last thing I want to do is go to Chicago. Like, and this one, it was like cracking. Like, you know, the side of Chicago we stay in is very rough too. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to go back to that. Atlanta compared to that, hell no. End up going back. You know, treated my goof ass, and you know, just got my life together.
So I'm still a little hazy with the details. How do you actually get sent back? Does the state of Georgia send you back personally?
No, my aunt.
Okay.
Yeah, she sent me back because I got arrested for doing something I don't really want to talk about, you know. But she sent me back because I didn't want to be in jail. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't for me. That shit ain't for anybody. That shit was a whole experience itself, you know. So.
It was a charge that you end up beating?
Yeah.
And it was a juvenile charge, or?
Juvenile, okay. Yeah.
So you beat it first, and then you actually move?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that was your aunt on your father's side?
Mm-hmm.
Aunt doesn't want to take you in?
She had her own thing going on, so I mean, I love her to death. We love each other and shit like that, but it's just, she had her own thing going on. You know, she was rocking how she was rocking. Feel me? I mean, I ain't no responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it real. She ain't have to do nothing. She did. You feel me? So I appreciate her though still.
I want to, before we get further in the conversation, I do want to go over a few more details though with the cancer side of things and your grandparents there. When it came to dealing with your grandparents as they were still alive, trying to fight cancer, going through chemotherapy, before hospice or even hospice was happening, what was the hardest thing to deal with during those times?
You said before all that?
No. As they were fighting, their cancer is discovered, and before they go into hospice, or maybe once they go into hospice, just dealing with a family member that's going through cancer. What was the hardest thing for someone like yourself to deal with?
Shit, I mean,
during those times there that they were fighting this?
Shit, it was hard, you know, I'm losing my family. Like, you know, the people I love who, you know what I'm saying, raised me, taught me everything I know, ain't finna be here. Or, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm just looking at them, you know what I'm saying, deteriorate in front of me. you know, and my father on drugs at the same time, you know what I'm saying? We losing a house, all type of shit. You feel me? It was just a lot. I went through that, you know what I'm saying? It's preteen, coming to teenager, it's a lot. Yeah.
Somebody watching this, maybe they're dealing with the cancer of their loved one. Anything you would say to somebody, and circumstances could be different for everybody, but somebody that has to deal with a loved one going through cancer, they're fighting it. Anything you would say to somebody watching this interview, listening to your story?
Shit, pray. Pray to God. I mean, he's a miracle worker. You never know. I mean, not only that, to spend every moment with him like it's their last. You know what I'm saying? Tell him you love him. You know what I'm saying? Keep him comfortable. You know, stuff of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Was that the most impactful death in your life that you experienced so far? Your grandparents?
Yeah, it was the first. It was the first. First they passed. And, you know, I had a couple homies that, you know, got murdered in Chicago. That kind of hit kind of hard because, you know, grew up with them kind of sort of when I used to come visit in Chicago, or I had class with them at Robeson. You know, it's sad, you feel me? Like, a couple homies didn't make it past the age of 16 or 21. I mean, it hurts. I can't even lie, it do. It's just, you know, it just shows you that life is short.
Because you're seeing this, you're experiencing this, did you feel like you would make it that far yourself or no? As far as age-wise?
Honestly, I ain't know, you know. I mean, at one point in time, I just changed how I was moving, changed my surroundings, changed the choices I was making and everything, just so I could, you know, try to make it, you feel me? I mean, you're always gonna have haters and people that's gonna try to take you out your shine or whatnot, but I mean, I just changed how I move.
Was that easy or hard to do? Changing?
Shit, it was easy because I don't wanna, you know what I'm saying, lose my life or just, you know what I'm saying, be a statistic and nothing like that, you know, especially if I have other people to live for, such as my daughter, you know, and the rest of my family, little brothers, my mom, my brothers, you know, like, shit, it's some things I want to do for them, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to be a statistic or just be, you know, another black man in Chicago that gets murdered on a weekend or something, you know. Just change everything about me.
Was it an instant change, like the flip of a light switch, or was it a progression to make that change?
It's kind of a progression, you know. Started like going to church, you know, getting closer to God, you know, stuff of that nature. Like just really trying to change everything about me, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, like, you know what I'm saying, financially, get into it, you know, but it was a progression, and I'm still progressing. I ain't say I did it. I'm still, you know what I'm saying, growing in a sense, so, you know.
Was it self-motivated, or did you have a support system for the natural progression there?
Both. I changed because I wanted to, but only like when I was going to church and, you know, hanging around different people, you know, just motivating me, you know what I'm saying, just wanting me to stay proactive, productive, do what I love to do. You know what I'm saying? It was cool, you know what I'm saying? I had people that was pushing me to it, pushing me out my comfort zone so I can be better and better every time. So I appreciate everybody who did that, by the way, you know what I'm saying?
When it came to your father and his drug use, did you ever see him take that drug?
Yeah, a couple times.
Did you ever try to stop him?
Hell yeah. Smack that shit out of his mouth.
Would that cause a rift between you two?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's tough.
Shit is life, you know? I mean, it's my dad, I still love him, but, you know, I mean, I wouldn't do no shit like that in front of my child, but, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Because you saw him take this particular drug, did that, and also too, not just that, but your grandparents going through cancer, did that change how you took care of yourself or maybe your health?
Yeah.
Did you stay away from drugs, period, or a certain drug because of what you had experienced? Do you take care of your body in a certain manner? I mean, I don't know if that cancer was preventable or not, or that's something that runs in your family or not, but do you take certain precautions so you try to prevent something like that happening to you personally?
Yeah, I changed a lot. Like, I mean, I smoked weed or whatever. I was addicted to lean at one point. There wasn't some shit I was trying to do. I ain't trying to go down that path, you feel me? And I did all that young. So I'm glad I made the mistakes then instead of doing that shit now. Who would have knows what I would have ended up like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that changed all type of things about me.
You had an addiction to lean, or you were just on it for a little bit?
I had addiction. Addiction. Shit, took me over at one point, you know.
How were you able to quit it?
Just thinking about like, just me thinking about me like following my father's footsteps. Like, it just wanted to move, you know what I'm saying? As I got older, I realized that shit. At a young age, I don't worry about that shit. I was just having fun, drinking lean, you know what I'm saying, smoking weed, all that shit. Until I got older and realized this shit a real drug. Speaker knockers, you know what I'm saying, died from it, Pimp C, and then it kind of just like woke me up like, whoa, like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't know to do all that, you feel me? So I had to just cut it off, you feel me? Yeah.
Now that can be hard for some people. There's some people watching this right now that might be addicted to lean as we do this interview. And maybe they want to quit it. Maybe they don't know how. Maybe they tried and couldn't. How were you able to actually quit it? Was it the flip of a light switch? Was it cold turkey, or was it progression there?
It was cold turkey. Shit, I want to live a long life, you feel me? I don't want that shit to get cut short, you know what I'm saying? Just think about your life. Think about your family. You have kids, you got a drug addiction, think about your kids, you feel me? What would happen if you ain't here no more? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for the child. You know what I'm saying? You won't put through it, don't put your child through it. Feel me? Shit, that'll be hard for them to even grow up with, that they dad not around, their mother not around due to drug addiction. Like, you know what I'm saying? You won't put that shit on your kids at a young age, that shit hurt. You feel me? Shit, that shit hurt. You don't put that pain on them. Fuck drugs, say no to drugs.
Do you still smoke marijuana?
Sociably, you know, it ain't an everyday thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to like stay on my P's and Q's. If I do, it gotta be like one of the homies' birthdays, celebration, or something like that. I'm not finna wake up in the morning, roll a fat ass blunt like I used to, smoke it, take it to the face. I don't do that shit no more. Just do it in moderation at this point.
When it came to lean, how long do you think you were actually addicted to that drug?
About a year. About a year.
When it came to kicking that habit, did you notice certain things with your body after you got rid of the addiction?
Hell yeah.
What did you notice health-wise?
Shit, I mean, you just don't feel the same. Like, you just feel slower, you know what I'm saying? You drink lean, it gets you slumped, you know? Everything's changed. You're not, you know what I'm saying? It's quick, it's fast-paced. I mean, I am now since I've been off of it, but it's just like, it just got that effect on you, make you move slow. Chicago, we was calling it lacking juice. You know what I'm saying? You drink that shit, get caught lacking, you know what I'm saying? Got you moving slow motion. You feel me? I'm trying to stay away from that shit, you feel me? I ain't going down that path no more.
Were you doing music at the time of the addiction to lean?
I was rapping, recording freestyles. I wasn't taking it serious as I was now, but yeah.
Did you notice any difference in your raps under the addiction versus not addicted to it?
Yeah. Now I have more content of music, you know what I'm saying? I talk about real life situations. 'Cause I'm actually thinking. I'm just not going in front of the mic saying some mumble shit, you feel me? Cause that's what that shit make you do, it'll make you mumble, slur and everything. Now, you know what I'm saying, enunciating words, you know what I'm saying, full of content, songs, stories, real life experiences, you know.
Feel like you rap better now, or you're more successful with your music, not under the addiction versus when you were addicted to it?
Yeah. Now, you know what I'm saying, kind of learn how to sing. Well, this thing I call melody rap. Well, a lot of people do it here in Atlanta. But, you know, kind of good at it, you feel me?
After you did quit cold turkey, did you ever relapse?
No.
Just curious there.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. You feel me? Fuck that shit. Say no to drugs.
How do you feel, now that you are off of that addiction, how do you feel when you hear it in other people's music? Or, I don't know if it's ever been around you when you've been in the studio or socially around others and it's been around. How do you feel since?
I mean, shit, I don't know how to feel, really. I mean, I do want to be like that homie, like, yo, put that shit down. I have been that homie a couple times, put that shit down, that shit ain't right. Ooh, ooh, all this other shit. But then again, you know, you got these people who grown as hell, older than me, you feel me, ain't trying to hear shit that I'm talking about. They drinking this shit, they trying to get high, they trying to get slumped. I mean, shit, all I do is just stay away from it or just act like I don't see it. You feel me? I mean, it's been around me a couple times since I've been in the studio. I'm not finna ask for a sip or nothing, because I know I'm done with that shit. If I'm done with it, I'm done with it, you feel me? So, it's kind of cool just to say no, you feel me? Like, oh shit, I don't fuck with that shit no more, you feel me? Like, you know, to move past that stage.
I know sometimes when people are addicted to something, when they quit an addiction, another addiction can pop up. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in the form of another drug. Mm-hmm. It could be, you know, for example, I've seen people or heard people, they'll quit smoking cigarettes. They'll quit that addiction. But then their next addiction is eating. You know, they become infatuated with food and that's their new addiction, or it might be something else. Did you form another addiction of some sort after you leave that addiction?
Nah, I just, you know what I'm saying, stuck to my hobbies, really, you know. I just dropped that bad habit, picked up a good one, you know. Stayed productive and proactive to my hobbies, you know. It feels better than getting high anyway, honestly, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's who I am, it's what I love to do. So, yeah, you ain't addicted to that shit, you know.
You do graduate high school?
Yeah.
And when do you end up moving back to Atlanta after high school's over?
Like 2018, yeah.
And what was the reasoning to go back to Atlanta? I don't know if you stated in this interview or not. We talked about so many things, so yeah. I don't know what the reasoning was for you to move back to Atlanta if you didn't state it.
So this will, you know, move further with music. This is where it's at right now, you know what I'm saying? Atlanta creates the culture, everybody else talk about it, you feel me? It's hip-hop headquarters, in case anybody know, you feel me? I mean, why not be down here and be proactive, you know what I'm saying? Shit, Atlanta's so small anyway, you feel me? Ain't no telling who you gonna bump into. And, you know, it's a nice market, one of the greatest markets, actually, when it comes to hip-hop.
So it was more so a music career choice for that move?
Yeah, not only that, it's like my second home, you feel me? It's where my grandparents raised me at, and, you know, it's just better, you know what I'm saying? The nature, the sun, you know what I'm saying? The winter is not as cold as Chicago, but it's a vibe, you feel me? It's a vibe.
Since you've moved back to Atlanta, have you had any communication with your father?
Yeah, we talk like every now and then, you feel me? Ask him how he doing, you know what I'm saying? Ask me how I'm doing, you know, small talk. Love you too, you know what I'm saying? Keep your head up. shit like that. You feel me? Just keep it real.